Yo, what's good, guys? Your boy, you got the Savage back again for another Savage Talks Live. Yeah, man, first one of 2024 and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Listen, man, I told you I'd bring it back on Thursday. It's Thursday, and it better be, because otherwise I've messed up. But yeah, man, it's Thursday. Sorry about that. I can't really keep track of time right now because it's in that weird period. You know, that weird period between everything getting back to normal and Christmas, New Year's, and all that. And it all went too quick, and now it's all slow. It's a shambles, but it's all good. It's all love. And hey, man, it's good to be here, bro. I'm not here for bro. It's not good. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time, like that. So it's about 45 minutes, maybe. I just wanted to get something out there. Content's been slow lately since Christmas, which is fair enough, man. You know what I mean? I've done hundreds of videos all year, and family time and stuff like that. Someone's gonna go back to school next week. So I'm trying to spend time with the family, like that. But obviously we're going to get back on it. And yeah, this channel took a bit of a hit last year, and so not much has changed. We're still shadow banned out here, but it's all good. It's just sitting there trying to decide what to do next, but hey, man, can sit and bitch about it, or can just put some content out and see what happens in it. So I picked the latter. I'm just gonna go. We're putting the content out. Gonna try and not because it's 2024, because I was going to do this anyway, but just happened to fall in this place. But I think I'm just going to try and stop overthinking the whole thing, to be honest. I really go and try and put loads of effort into the thumbnails and what type of videos and stuff we do. But sometimes the creativity, it slows you down a little bit because you're trying to make stuff perfect so much. So I'll just take a shot at it, post a video, especially the pre-recorded ones, throw it up, which I've done before anyway, and then I don't look at my videos once I've put them up, unless they got copyrighted and they send me a message. I don't look at them again. So I think if I keep to doing that, then I can throw some videos, because obviously you have news and like wrestling news and stuff. You guys already know I don't really do rumors. I don't do rumors. But there is news every day, pretty much, in wrestling, or people try and draw some news out. And I think where there is news, I could just throw up a 10-minute video. Just so people have content throughout the day and stuff like that. I mean, it's not like you don't have other places to go for content, but there's shit, so might as well do that. But you won't be catching me doing all this breaking news stuff, because when people do that, unless you're actually breaking the news, you're just breaking news what somebody else already broke an hour before. So you already know how that goes. My big up everyone inside. Yeah, man, you already know the rules of the channel. That 2024. Listen, people who are new to the channel, big up to you guys. Listen, the only ground rules over here, man, because there's demons in it. So just make sure you're not a tampon boy. Make sure you're in a mogul and a mouth breather, and you should be good. I don't do rumors, so if you throw any rumors to me, you might not get read out at all. And if you ruin it for me, I won't be very happy. That's about it. You know what I mean? Because I know that wrestling's changed. I know that kayfabe's, it's hard. It's nearly done completely at it. But at the same time, when I go into my pay-per-views, when I go into my Raw and SmackDown stuff, I like to be surprised by stuff. It's the only thing that gives me any joy in wrestling anymore, is having some kind of, and I don't mean a surprise in terms of the return all the time, but some people seem to think they know the script of what's going to happen in WWE, which in actual fact, it always ends up being nonsense. But even still, I don't need man telling me that you saw CM Punk in the Chicago airport and stuff like that, innit? Just let me see him turn up. That's what I mean, that kind of stuff. But yeah, literally the video today, I just wanted to chop up with you guys. I put some news stories at the bottom of the screen just because, just keep it going and stuff like that, but I really couldn't give too much about the news. It's been a bit since the last thing we've done. I mean, we had The Rock return on Raw. We had, in the news, we had Chris Jericho allegations. We had the Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark, his apology. Dolph Ziggler made his debut, not his in-ring debut, but his debut on New Japan Wrestling. He's gone under the name, his original name, Nick Nemeth, so he's with his brother. Yeah, man, it's all over the place. The devil in AEW was Adam Cole the whole time, which, so I guessed it was. So just, you know what I mean? I'm pretty disappointed with that, by the way. Not disappointed with the fact that he's the devil, but it just ended up being a waste of time, and it feels like, I don't know. I think it might be a personal thing. I feel like I've often cheated out of the storyline. It hasn't hit the way it should hit. Obviously, MJF has been removed from the AEW roster online. His contract's up 2024. He was teasing for a whole year. When my contract's up, if you don't give me a better deal, I'm going to go to the other side. to WWE. But I personally think with what's going on with MJF and the roster, I and I could be wrong because he could end up in WWE, but I think it's just kayfabe. He's a professional in it, and he likes to. He's one of like the dying breeds. He's kind of old school, so I think the likelihood is he's trying to trick people. He kind of did it before when he disappeared for ages, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's going to turn up on WWE," and he actually didn't. So, um, but yeah, obviously Adam Cole's revealed himself as a devil, but he's still injured, so it feels like a waste of time. Um, that's like when Vince McMahon revealed himself as the higher power. Imagine that happening, and then um, Austin left straight away with no repercussion to anything what's going on. So I'm going to give it a chance though because there's still loads of time, but it just didn't hit home. At World's End also had Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland, great match. One for the ages, you know, man. One of them old school ones. There was tables getting lit on fire. There was a win. Adam Copeland won the belt and then lost the belt. So so that was quite funny. He, on terms of people who are showing up week in week out and stuff like that, Christian's the best heel in the business at the moment. Obviously, Roman's my favorite, but he's the best heel at the moment. So great work over there. WWE though, got a lot to talk about just in terms of what's going to happen going forward. Now, some things I'm going to leave the details out of because, as I just spoke about content, I have not fantasy bookings, but the way I would do it. And this is not a shot to any creative and stuff like that, whether I like you creative or not. This is literally me, Savage, sitting down, thinking creative brain. I'm going, I know they're probably going to do it this way, but this is the way I would do it. And I'm going to do quite a few of them videos. Because I'm always talking about it with my friend anyway. I'm like, just get off my chest, put it on a video. It's not hard, you know what I mean? And I, I, I don't know, man. There's a few things where I feel like let's talk about it. Let's start with The Rock in it. So my two favorite wrestlers are The Rock and Roman Reigns. Now, obviously, The Rock is my favorite of all time. He's been my favorite since he turned up with the Shield, and The Rock's been missing for ages. And he's pretty much retired. I mean, he did retire, didn't he? So there was a point where The Rock versus Roman was like, yeah, Rock versus Roman, this could be cool still. But then, obviously, only selfish because I'm a fan of both of them. I was like, I don't really want to see them in the ring together. But then Roman delved even deeper into the storyline of the bloodline. And I'm like, okay, I can see a part in this where they could do The Rock Roman. We had The Rock turn up on Pat McAfee's show about 6 months ago now. Could be a little bit long, but I think about 6 months ago. And he revealed to everyone that, at WrestleMania, it was supposed to be the Roman versus The Rock. But schedules didn't line up and all those kind of things. So it didn't happen. And now we get, Raw Day 1. Triple H is going to bring back a former WWE champion, blah, blah, blah. Jinder Mahal comes out. I love Jinder Mahal anyway, so whatever. But because I like the heel facts that the fans couldn't believe that that's who he was. And I kind of was like, you might as well stick with him. He talks, he starts dissing America, all of that stuff. And then by clockwork, if you smell, The Rock comes out very surprised. I didn't see anything anywhere about anyone thinking it was The Rock. And it made even more sense because The Rock's been a bit more political over the last couple of years. Well, Dwayne Johnson has. So him protecting America, and obviously was talking about, the fact that people wanted to run for president not long ago, made sense him coming to the ring. I didn't really care about the promo as such. It was funny, but a little bit like whatever, in it. Old school. That's what I expect of The Rock anyway. This Jinder, this Rusev, this all these kind of people. Safe. I didn't like the way The Rock landed the Roman Reigns blow. He's my favorite wrestler of all time, but and it wasn't the way. I don't know if it was part of it was the fans because I didn't think the crowd was very good. In fact, I thought the crowd was awful. Even when he came out, it was loud, but then it slowed down really quick. And when he was cutting the promo at the end, and he said, the Rock's in San Diego tonight, and The Rock's feeling hungry, and The Rock's gonna go to a restaurant, and when The Rock goes to a restaurant, should he sit at a booth? And I got it straight away. And then the fans were just like, nah, Rock, we don't really care where you sit. And then it's like, well, should The Rock sit at a bar? And then the fans are like, yeah, sit at the bar. And then he was like, should I sit at the head of the table? And then the fans went crazy for a little bit, but it wasn't the crazy I expected for such a spectacle. And then he looked a bit more serious. He left the ring and stuff like that. And Roman Reigns responded on Twitter by just putting a laughing face up, which fits his character so perfect. Now, this will probably be the first one when I go deeper into what I think should happen at WrestleMania. So I won't go into too much detail now. I might do a part 1 and part 2 because I'm going to give different alternates of how I think they could book The Rock versus Roman. But the biggest talking point of this is obviously Cody Rhodes at it. Now, Cody's been on a tyrant since he got into the WWE. Came in, fought Seth 3 times. He won all the times he fought him. Got injured, tore his pec and all this business. Came back, won the Royal Rumble and done all that stuff and moved his way onto WrestleMania. I think since he's been there, he's lost like 3 matches, if I'm correct. Probably still wrong, and I'll say it every week, but I know he lost to Brock. He lost to Roman. I think there's another loss in the tag team match, and he lost the tag team belts with Jay. So he's had a bit more wins than anyone else, apart from Roman, obviously. But no, he's actually had more wins than Roman because Roman's fought less. But his thing has been, I need to finish the story. I need to finish the story. I need to finish the story. This is before anything to do with The Rock. And his latest storyline has been with Nakamura. And Nakamura saying to him, listen, I know you're trying to finish the story and that. Let me take you out. Let me put you out of your misery and I'll finish the story for you because we have similar paths in terms of I didn't get to finish my story after the Royal Rumble and all this stuff. I like it. And I actually think that Nakamura he's been great lately. Problem with Nakamura is we know he's going to lose to Cody. So where does he go from there? Because he did the same thing with Seth and lost. It's not looking good. They got Drew also doing great stuff, but he's going to keep losing. Feels like a waste of time. So it's up in the air because I think everyone was just expecting, okay, Cody, you lost that WrestleMania year before. We'll build your way back up. And then the next year, WrestleMania, you'll fight Roman again and win. Now, I was against that from the beginning. I didn't like it. I thought it was the right thing that he lost. I actually thought he should have went after Seth's belt, or he should have beat Gunther first and then built his way up to the WWE Championship. Only because he's not planning on going anywhere. If he was an older wrestler, I would say, okay, go straight for the WWE title. And him and Roman put on a great match. I actually rewatched the match like 2 days ago. But now it says, as Rock just came in and ruined Cody's moment. And don't put it past WWE doing this. Is The Rock even fighting Roman at WrestleMania? Or is it the fans just lost their mind? And you know what I mean? Because if I go by what I expect WWE to do, when we get to SmackDown tomorrow, The Rock won't be there and Roman won't be there. So it's like a loss. It's just lost, isn't it? Now, I like the fact what The Rock and John Cena did prior when they did the year build and The Rock was still in Hollywood and stuff like that. I thought that was really good because they done vignettes and they did satellite work and then The Rock did come back for a few times and cut promos. I really liked that. I thought it was cold. But the build up from now, January to April, which is 4 months, but technically you might as well say 3 because it's at the beginning of April. Is it a long enough time to build? Well, it's 12 weeks. It should be long enough. I don't think it will be. This build up should kind of image The Rock versus Stone Cold, the last time they fought, the build up to that, with the great promo packages, old school. They haven't even planted seeds to why this should happen, apart from the fact that their family and Roman saying is the head of the table. But the question to that's going to be is, well, Rock, he's been saying he's the head of the table for three plus years now, and you never said anything, and you've been back since. The Rock has been back since Roman's been the head of the table. So what? And I think they have to delve into the family business very personal. And I think they have to almost have Roman. It's going to be crazy because on a promo battle, beating The Rock is unheard of most of the time. John Cena got the better of him once and CM Punk did okay, but he's going to have to delve into the fact that The Rock's going to say to him, obviously, you've been running your mouth. You walk around talking about you're the tribal chief, you're the tribal dog, or some. The Rock's going to say, and Roman's going to say to Rock, and what Roman should say to him is, well, you can't be head of the table because you're not even here, bruv. Like you not been around, bruv. You know, we had COVID, we had all these different problems, and you ain't been around to take care of the family when people pouring dog food over my face and stuff. You weren't here, bro. So, and I'm gonna leave that there because it's part of my video. But there's many ways they can go around that. So that means if they do go for that, what is next for Cody? Does Roman have night 1 and night 2 WrestleMania main events? Well, very possible, but then you've got the problem of he shouldn't main event both nights because there's Seth and CM Punk, which they need to start delving into. And by the way, major missed opportunity to have WWE Day 1 on Raw and not have CM Punk there. I don't get it. It's fine to Raw and it's not been back that long. But they didn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you have to have anything between him and The Rock. They could just say hello to each other backstage. They're both technically in the world of wrestling baby faces, so it doesn't make much sense. But it does offer what is next for Cody now. He's on Raw, so there's not much titles over there. Cody and Seth and CM Punk probably is going to happen night 1. Roman and The Rock, if it does get built, it might happen night 2. Like I said, it might not happen at all, which means Cody will fight him. But then, does everyone want Cody to win this time? Last time, you know what I mean? This time might just be, I want Cody to win just to remove the belt from Roman, but I think everyone will find out pretty soon and pretty quick. Days after, not days, let me be fair to Cody, and I like Cody, but they'll find out pretty soon after he wins that title how boring it will be. Because he'll just do what he's been doing now, just having loads of wrestling matches and saying, yo, San Diego, what do you want to talk about? Greenberg, what do you want to talk about? Iowa, what do you want to talk? And then no one talks about anything. Cody's character at the moment is kind of one-dimensional. He comes out, he's always in a suit for no reason, even though he's got to wrestle that day. He says to the fans, so what do you want to talk about? And then he'll bring his dad into the conversation again. Now, I'm not telling the man, of course, I know real life is dad, but I'm talking about WWE wrestling. I'm not talking about his real life that his dad died, because obviously that's upsetting. But you can't just, every promo can't be about your dad. It never even makes sense. Everything about Cody's character says that he should be a heel. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's called the American Nightmare. That is the counterpart to the American Dream. He should be a heel. He wears a suit for no reason. He should be a heel. He comes out with the big vocabulary and speaks to people like the idiots. He should be a heel. Now, we've either got two problems in WWE. We either have too many babyface or we have too many heels. Now, I'm going to go through this list of these people. I'm going to say, because and they can figure out their way. Randy Orton should not be a babyface. And everything about him returning says that after about a week or so, he probably should have turned to the dark side pretty fast. He got put on a shelf. Why would he come back in a happy mood and not take everybody out? Why would he share a ring with Roman talking and getting promos done instead of coming out with a crowbar? So that's one person. Seth and CM Punk both can't be heels or baby faces. They have to. One of them have to swap. They're going into WrestleMania where both of them are baby faces, and everything Seth said is kind of true. So the only way you make it is either Seth snaps, beats the shit out of CM Punk to the point where the fans turn on Seth. But at the moment, they're doing is, oh, they're doing that chant. Or you go off what CM Punk said in his first promo, where he said, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money. And somebody should pick up on that, bring it to a promo. And his objective should be, I've come back to the WWE to destroy it from within. And somebody should catch him out on that. So there's another one with them too. So you got Cody, who's at the moment, all of them saying they all should be heels. Cody's the mega babyface at the moment. So you see how I'm going with this one. Obviously, Roman's a heel at the time as well. The Rock's going to be a babyface going into it. So it's a bit all over the place. They need to find a way to figure it out. But I think it could be in 2024. I think it could be great because obviously 2024 is not just about WrestleMania. But it could be excellent if they execute these stories properly. They need to delve more into real life, into reality. They need to take away the cheesy, old pro wrestling style of saying certain things. You got some people that sound like superheroes, you know what I mean? So let the people who ain't really good at following words as a promo and the promos are cheesy, let them speak their own mind. Man. There's plenty of stories out there. You got Gunther, WrestleMania. Gunther's the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. Do I think they should have made him that? Doesn't really matter, does it? I didn't think at the time, but I think he's great. He's never in actual storyline to people. He just beats people up. Now, the last storyline with The Miz was really good. The Miz didn't win, so, that's fine. The only person I can see dethroning Gunther, which is probably not going to work because of the brands, but it, it's probably Jey Uso or LA Knight. And LA Knight, I don't even know. He's not been here for a couple of weeks now, I think, but I'd probably go LA Knight or Jey Uso, and I don't know if me and the homie Mex from WrestleMania at UK, subscribe by the way. When we had a conversation about him before, we said about LA Knight that everything about him's great until he gets in the ring, and then you kind of don't care about his movesets or anything like that. There's nothing in the ring that captivates you about him. It's just the promos and everything else. So that's good. And then you got Jey Uso, who is so over with the fans, but I do believe that Jimmy and Jay are gonna fight at WrestleMania. I would have that happen. I'd have them fight each other in a Hell in a Cell or something like that. So it doesn't leave many people in terms of a storyline that are out there now that can beat him, and there's no one to return either. So that's up in the air as well. He's probably gonna win. But there's still credence to make it all great because he's such a good champion that whoever beats him should go over. You don't want to. You don't want to have like somebody who beats Roman or someone who beats Gunther, who's supposed to go over in a big way and elevate their career from that moment because they're elevating after two of the longest streaks. Gunther's is the longest, and Roman's is the longest of the modern era. You want to propel yourself. Oh my God, you dethroned the guy who's had the belt for 3 years. Oh, you've dethroned the longest reigning. That's what it needs to be now. I said in my previous video that whatever brand LA Knight's on, he has to go for the secondary title. So if he's on Raw, he goes for the US title. If he's on SmackDown, he goes for the Intercontinental title, or vice versa. It doesn't matter which one he switches because I don't think he's ready to be champion. I think he's good. I think his promos are good. And I think him holding any kind of gold would look great on him, but I don't think the WWE Championship is the one. I don't think he's at that level. So I wouldn't do it. But the US title and Intercontinental, and I think he had the deal with Logan Paul before anyway. And then who had it before that? Rey Mysterio. So he had the back and forth already, and then he had the thing with the Miz and that as well. So that makes sense for him to go there. I think that's what I might have to do. Another thing that could be great. Now, I'm in reserve about this one, and you'll find out in my other video what I mean about Damian Priest on this. He's missed the Money in the Bank. He's seen your Money in the Bank. But the Money in the Bank briefcase, day to day walking around with him is irrelevant. He doesn't make it relevant enough. He tried to cash in on Raw in the middle of a match when the other guy wasn't even down completely. Now, don't get me wrong, we've seen people cash in before. We saw Seth cash in between Roman and Brock and win the title, but the difference is they had kicked the shit out of each other. And there's an opportune time to come down. They were both down, whereas Damian came down with 3 people, and he could have waited. He could have waited to the match to finish, let Drew leave, and took out Seth. And now I'm looking at it like, because people don't cash in on anything but the WWE titles, they don't cash in on Intercontinental titles and all that stuff, which is fair enough. And he's still tag team champion. I don't understand, and I don't get how they're going to win us over with Damian Priest cashing in. They can get us with a surprise on the day, so we can have like where we forgot about the Money in the Bank and he cashes in. I mean, if you wanted The Rock to beat Roman, I can't even have Damien in this conversation, but if you wanted The Rock to beat Roman, The Rock could beat Roman and Damien could cash in on The Rock instantly and become, I'm thinking he could do. What? I don't know, man. I don't know, but Damien Priest can't. He can't, bro. It won't work. The only title he can cash in on is Seth's title. He can't do Roman's. Do you want to see Damien Priest versus CM Punk? Probably not. Do you want to see Damien Priest versus Seth? Seen it already. I think, which I don't normally agree with this because I think it's a kind of a shame they've done this every year so far. So if they don't do it, I'm not too disappointed by it. But they've taken the briefcase off people loads of years. They've either cashed in and failed, or they did what Otis did when Otis won and he lost it in the court case with Miz, and then the Miz cashed in, and then Bobby Lashley beat the Miz. So you could do that as well. You could have Finn screw him when he cashes in. You could have Rhea screw him, Dom. I actually think that by the time we get to WrestleMania, the Judgment Day will split up. I think Dom will cost Rhea Ripley winning a WrestleMania match. I think she ends up with Jade Cargill, and I think Cargill beats her at WrestleMania. I think Dom is the reason for that. He's going to try and help him mess it up. JD doesn't really count in the Judgment Day anyway. R-Truth obviously doesn't. And it's Finn and Damian. And if they lose the tag team titles and now he's just got the briefcase again, force Finn to be, it'd be that guy again, in it, where he's upset with the fact the only thing what's calmed him down from that briefcase is the fact that they won gold. So that's an interesting one with the Judgment Day as well. But I don't know, man. Let's see. Yeah. Logos, I agree with the LA Knight and Thingy Logan. Yep, that's definitely happening. The Berlin pay per view is going to be big for Gunther. He's either gonna. They don't always go with somebody winning in the hometown. Sometimes I think if to make someone a major heel or the other way around, they can lose in the hometown. But I think he's either going to have the belt when he gets to his hometown, or it's not his hometown, but you know what I mean, or he's going to lose it before. It's been interesting. Who will be Brock's opponent? I don't think Brock's going to be there at WrestleMania. I don't think Brock's going to be there. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think you're all right, man. I think the Judgment Day's got. Yeah, it's written all over it, man. There's no way that group carries on. I think Dom's lost its spark in it already. You know what I mean? Dom was cool when he was doing he was coming from prison and that was Dom, you know what I mean? So and then tag belts, yeah. No. We need, first of all, we need new tag belts. Second of all, we need the other way around. So honestly said if you can see Nia Jax or Jade Cargill winning the title, but if Naomi returns, she can also be in the picture. Yeah. I mean, one thing I have been forgetting, which is quite funny. I don't know why I forgot this. For some reason, I keep thinking there's only one women's title, but there's two. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to EO and that, but I keep thinking that it's just Rhea Ripley. So Jay Cargill, I think you do Jay Cargill, Rhea, and yeah, if Naomi, I don't know, man. She's gonna have to earn it. I feel like her and Sasha could return, which would be cold. Rhea Ripley's on a tyrant. She's a strong woman, big. She's fought the other people who is there already. I think Jay Cargill to the WWE crowd who hasn't watched AEW is unknown, but she looks like she can be up rear in it. So I think Jay Cargill I would go with there. Be very interesting though. Very interesting. I think the biggest outlier of this whole thing is Cody Rhodes, man. I think I'm actually gonna keep my feelings in reserve about The Rock and Roman for a couple of more weeks, man. Because for some reason, and it's probably bad of me, but for some reason, something is telling me that WWE is gonna mess this up, bro. I just feel like I've seen them do stuff like this before. They say stuff and then everyone just forgets about it. Like it just moves on. Like how was CM Punk and Randy Orton returning died down already? It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy. Um, Hey man, listen, I wouldn't if I was you, like I wouldn't be going with guarantees of stuff you've seen on the internet, bro, because all people have heard of is stories that somebody has said about someone. No one's heard the person say anything. So we haven't heard Sasha say anything or Mercedes Monet. We haven't heard Naomi say anything. That's you know what I mean. Though obviously there was a story between TNA and WWE, and I think everyone's assumption was TNA and WWE are gonna join forces in that relationship, which I thought would have been cool because there's a few people on TNA like Moose that could thrive in the WWE, but doesn't look like that's a thing to be honest. I think people got it messed up to do with TNA finally went they've gone to premium live events now, $9.99 a month. So they made that announcement the day Triple H said he was going to make an announcement, and people put two and two together. It's one of them ones, in it. So it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting, but Charlotte's injured. Bianca Belair's still there. It's a bit weird on SmackDown at the moment as well. It's a bit I don't know. I mean, everything's been pointing to Bayley getting out of that group for a while. I don't know, man. They're gonna have to fix some stuff, but I've seen people. I don't know. WWE's not been perfect, but the pay per views have been great since Triple H has been back. I haven't had a pay per view that I've not enjoyed, not one. Even Saudi Arabia, and I don't normally enjoy Crown Jewel or stuff like that, but I think they've all been pretty cool. So yeah, honestly, I know what you mean, man. Um, but yeah, man, thinking of the whole card to WrestleMania because if you go through these belts, you've got at the moment anyway. Let me not assume you've got Roman versus someone in it. Now, the thing is, whoever wins the Royal Rumble, they get to pick which champion they go for. I think the champion who wins the Royal Rumble goes for Seth's belt, so it's probably going to be CM Punk. So you got Roman against whoever wins what Elimination Chamber, maybe. Let's say could go that route. I know he's got to fight Randy Orton at Royal Rumble. Randy Orton's probably going to get screwed by AJ Styles or something in that match. Oh yeah, I don't know anything that Moose said to be honest. So, but surely I don't know if WWE can keep people out for stuff that they've said when they've got people who've said racist stuff, sexist stuff, done mad acts and that. I don't know, man. I don't know, but a weird one. Might try getting an interview off him, see what go on, man. I think it'd be great. Someone his size and that the moves he does and that crazy. US title. This has been a terrible title reign from Logan, like on epic proportions. I got the reason why he won, even though I didn't want him to. And then I was like, okay, business is going to have the title with him on Impulsive podcast. He's going to have it with him when Jake fights, which he did. It's been terrible. It's been non-existent. You know what I mean? He ain't Roman. He ain't a professional wrestler who's been, you know what I mean, his dream was to do this and he's been thriving to do it for ages. So that's up in the air. And now the US title doesn't even feel important. So that sucks. Intercontinental title obviously going for crazy. Drew McIntyre needs something. He could become the top heel in the business. Could be close to it. Got to start winning a few matches though. Two women's titles that we just went over. Tag team titles is a very interesting one because the tag team division went on a scale of the highest scale that it's just dropped because they put all of this into Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and that just didn't work out, did it? So they have to sort that as well. And then there's gonna have to be some matches. Big up, son. There's gonna be some we're doing clubs at 6 if you're on. They're gonna have to do some matches where they don't involve titles and it's just storylines. And that's why I think that The Rock Roman, if it happens, you could still do Cody and Roman. Or The Rock and Roman isn't at WrestleMania and you have The Rock screw Roman out of his title to prove a point. But as I said, I'm going to do a video on it, and I've got two options in my videos. I've got an option for The Rock to win, and I've got an option for Roman to win, and I think both are very viable. So I've tried to not delve too far into the future either, even though it's long-term booking. I try not to do that. But I think with Roman and The Rock, you need Afro and Seeker in some kind of segment. You need Rikishi back. You need Tamina. You need Nia. You need the Usos. Um, you need Solo. You need Paul Heyman. Um, I'd bring in Zilla Fatu and Jacob Fatu. I think you could do this properly, man. I wouldn't imagine a match where the ring is surrounded by Samoans, bro. Yeah, imagine, man, the real heads of the table stopping people from coming in. Be cold still, because you think about it, The Rock really can't come back and say, "Oh, I'm the head of the table." When Afro and Sika made Roman head of the table, he beat Jay, and they put the siege around his neck, and it was done. It was so be very interesting. Be very interesting. Um, Dolph Ziggler, man. I said it earlier. Nick Nemeth. I mean, Nick Nemeth's the YouTuber. Dolph Ziggler in New Japan Wrestling. Interesting. Good for him. But the visibility of New Japan isn't. So he might just be doing it for the craft, and he's been doing it a long time. Kevin Dunn left WWE last week after about 20 years in the company, maybe more than 20 years in the company. Massive part of what WWE has become. Massive part. It's weird when I hear fans say they don't like him compared to wrestlers, and because he ain't done anything to the fans. The wrestlers and stuff I understand because they have to deal with people face to face, behind the scenes and stuff like that. So I think people just take on these weird things about people. I didn't really want to cover this, but fuck it, and I'm Savage Thoughts Wrestling. So Chris Jericho, Kaylee Ray, sexual misconduct allegations. Yeah, not looking good, is it? Not looking good. Now, I see that the little tampon boys online ran to the aid of Kaylee, but let me just say, I think Kaylee Ray is cold. I love her, I do. But I'll be damned if you think I'm running to the aid of somebody when a message has been dropped online, not even by that person at the time, and I'm just going to be like, "Oh yeah, the girl said it, so it's true." Well, I've just got to be honest. For all them little tampon boys out there, you don't know Kylie Ray or Chris Jericho, but one of them has been on your screen for about 30 years of your life, and one hasn't, bro. So if I've not heard anything bad about the dude from before that, what do you want me to do? I'm just chilling and laying back and seeing what happens in it. Because I already know how it goes with the sexual misconduct thing. If you get found guilty, not even if you get found guilty, because you know the real law's a bit trash as well. But if it ends up being true or it's revealed to be true, you're a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And nothing but bad things happen to you. But if the girl's lying, you're exactly the same piece of shit too. But it's weird to me how people have jumped to the aid. They did this with Vince as well. Oh yeah, I've interviewed her a few times. I really love her. I do. I'll stand with you. All right, okay. And then you got the other side of people. Tony Khan, how dare you still kill Chris Jericho, knowing that blah blah blah. And you said this about Vince, because people don't mean what to say. That's why. Sometimes, sometimes people can stand with people just because it makes the other company look bad. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's not a good thing. Of course, it's not. And anyone who's gone through any badness, you know what I mean. I hope it's not real for that reason. Uh, Come on, son. You know what it is, man. Me and you love the Miz as the Intercontinental Champion. It's Cobra, but I think that story's run its course now just because he didn't beat Gunther already. I think Gunther loses this. He should lose it in a 6-man ladder match, in an elimination chamber or something like it. Gunther losing clean, yes, but Gunther losing clean with no help in the ring, no, it's too good. So I think at least if you get put in a fatal 4-way or something, you don't have to be pinned. I think that would be kind of cool. But yeah, if true, Chelsea Green is getting. I mean, I can't. If it's any rumors, man, drop me out of that, man. Drop me out. I don't do rumors, so we'll have to see in it. Um, but if you're talking about Karrion Cross, listen, man, there's no way someone goes from being that good to no one on the roster caring. Now, the difference is the NXT crowd and the main WWE crowd are not the same thing. So there's two options in it, which the other option might not be viable unless you're going to pay him the same. You send him back to NXT, and he builds his way back up from there. You make him. You make him. If you want to split up the Judgment Day, but keep you want to split the Judgment Day up, but still keep the faction. Make Karrion Kross head of Judgment Day. Makes sense. You know what I mean? Because Rhea can go on her own. Scarlett will be cold as part of the Judgment Day because she could be she could be the mouthpiece of the whole group. Pause. I mean, don't want to be rude to man's wife and that. So yeah, there's a few different things they can do, but they did this with Keith Lee as well. We had that weird period in WWE where they brought Keith Lee up, they brought Karrion up. Everything got ruined, man. They put him in his little OnlyFans costume and that, and they changed Keith's name to Bearcat Lee and that. It weren't good, man. And then okay, the other part of the story. Let's talk about this real quick. The reason why I'm talking about this is because obviously I said to people before I wanted to interview this person. And I said it before anything had happened. But I also don't care about being judged because for me, I'm not like an emotional person in that, man. If you want to do interviews and that, you interview all types of people and you have to keep your emotions to yourself because it's not about you. It's about the person and what they're talking about. So I don't know the details and I have to look into it, but there were allegations on it. So man didn't get locked up for anything. Allegations from Velveteen Dream before about underage women or girls. I think it was like text message or something like that. But at the time, and I have to check it out again, I don't know if the person told him that he was older or not. I think there's some leaked messages, so I have to see that as well. And then obviously drink driving and all that stuff. I think the DOI thing happened. There was one what happened like not long ago. Can't remember his mugshot coming up online. But he made an apology video. He apologized to Triple H. He apologized to Shawn Michaels. He apologized to the WWE fans and the Velveteen Dream fans. He apologized to his family and his best friend. I think he's if I'm sure, I think he's friends with Shanty the Adonis from Hit Row as well. I think he apologized to him. Listen, I watched the apology. The apology seemed mad sincere. In fact, the fact that he took so long to say anything made it feel like, yeah, I think he's telling the truth on this apology. He didn't say at the end of the apology what he wanted to do next. He didn't say, you know, I want to move on to do this next. I want to join the WWE. I want to wrestle again. He didn't say any of that. But the major thing you saw online before I saw that apology video was people saying Velveteen Dream has reached out to a few different whatever, and he wants to have an interview and all this business. I think a few people have turned him down. I haven't seen any interviews online yet where someone has spoke to him. So it'd be interesting to wait and see. And if no one does, I'll just do what I did before when I was going to interview him before. I'll interview him. Don't bother me. And if everyone, if you're an interviewer, if you're trying to get into that line of work or you're a journalist or something like that, you know, you have to keep decorum. And obviously the person probably is going to tell you, I don't want to speak about this, I don't want to speak about that. So don't go. And if it's about underage people, then usually there's like legal reasons. But it's been so long that I think the allegation was just an allegation. It's very hard to say it's true when Enzo went for the same thing and didn't do anything. The DUI stuff and just being inappropriate and stuff is probably true. I can't remember what he's asked. He's accused of taking photos of someone in the bathroom or something like that, which sounds a bit strange. So I don't know, man. I could speak to the management team and see what the allegations are properly first and find out the proper allegations online before I interview someone. Because I ain't, obviously, if man has really done the unthinkable, I would never, you know what I mean? But I'm also not emotional like that. So very interesting, man. It's a shame because if it's true, then obviously there's victims. If it's not true, then he's a victim. Or it's in between where he's done inappropriate stuff, but not inappropriate stuff to the point where of no return. I mean, we've had, you know, Hulk Hogan and we had Austin beat up his wife and all that. We've had loads of things in the WWE, and people still buy Austin t-shirts and run around with hell yeah. So there's, you know what I mean? But obviously, I get it, the modern time and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's something I want to do. I don't want to get into it as a full-time career or anything like that, man. But I've always got questions I'd like to ask people. Sometimes I watch the interview or podcast and I'm like, why didn't they ask that question? They have to be scared. You can ask in a certain way where it's not, you know, seeing like you're judging someone. So we'll see. But I'll leave the stream there, 45 minutes. Said I'll do that. I'm gonna go and edit some more stuff, make some other videos, and then, you know what I mean, jump on clubs with the boys and stuff like that. But big up to everyone inside. Anyone who watches this later on, big up to you as well. Going forward on the channel, listen, I'm not going to make all these weird promises and stuff like that. But what I will say is, I'm really diving into the analytics of different things now, because obviously the shadow ban, so I have to keep track of it. And I ain't doing constant videos that people ain't watching because it's just pointless. So I'll check them on a week by week basis to get to a month, see if it grows. If it doesn't, just get rid of it and do something else. Obviously, I brought the reaction back for the Rock reaction on the channel. I'll carry on doing that. Obviously, that won't have picture in picture because the copyright, and that's the reason why I got shadow banned in the first place, I think. If anyone wants to see full-time reactions, go on TikTok. Savage Talks Wrestling. I got all the reactions to SmackDown and Raw and the pay-per-views. They're on there. Retro reactions coming as well. And then, yeah, man, I'll see what happens with the interviews and stuff like that, man. I'm a bit like, you know, the bigger names. It sounds weird. It's not that I don't want to interview them. It's the fact that they've done so much interviews already. I pretty much know all their stories inside out. It's a little bit boring in that way. And the bigger ones have got more egos and stuff like that, where there's some people that just want to dive into the story, especially people from the past. So be interesting, but big up to you guys in it. And yeah, man, I'll join you guys again soon. I know when the next video is. I think it's going to be SmackDown. But obviously, you can also go on HUGO Online, Savage Talk Sport if you want more content from me. And if you don't want more content from me, obviously, that's your problem. Like, B-Boy, Savage, comment, like, subscribe, and share. RIP Bray every time, you know, like that, because I missed the guy, man.